They're going to sell us GTA 6. Not once, not twice, and probably not even 3 times, but many, many more times. Why? Because there's only one group of people more eager than the fans themselves for GTA 6 to release, the fine folks over at Take-Two Mafia Interactive Corporation. Just kidding, Strauss, please don't delete my video. It's obvious that GTA 6 is launching in a console generation that's already on its last legs. A generation that will almost certainly struggle to handle a project as ambitious and massive as GTA 6. We all saw that trailer, we all noticed the insane graphics, that sand, that particles, this amazing hair, and we all thought, how in the world are they gonna make this work on consoles that will already be 5 or 6 years old by the time the game drops? Apparently, someone at Sony had the same question, and their solution was as bold as it was predictable. Create the most powerful console in history, and of course the most expensive. Unless Xbox has a surprise lined up, this is all the options we'll have to play GTA 6, ranging from the most budget-friendly setups to the absolute premium experience. It's as if Sony thought, if Rockstar doesn't make GTA 6 available for PC, we'll just create a console that's basically a PC, and that's what they've done. Before we dive deeper, let me clarify something. I couldn't care less about the so-called console wars between Sony and Microsoft. In fact, I hate both companies equally. To me, they're both just two sides of the same coin. Shameless corporations looking for every possible way to squeeze more money out of us. They charge us to play online, they've phased out physical game formats so we can't resell games when we're done with them, and they release a new and improved console revision every 2 years, leaving you clueless about when is the best time to buy. So if you're part of that toxic fandom that defends either company like it's your family, feel free to enjoy this video, but don't expect me to join you in worshipping multi-billion-dollar corporations that only care about your wallet. Now back to the PS5 Pro. Recently announced and heavily hyped, this will likely be the most powerful system available to fully experience GTA 6. It gives us hope that we won't have to deal with the same limitations that plagued GTA 5's initial release on consoles that were already nearing the end of their life cycle. Or so you'd think, that's the impression Sony wants to give. But in reality, the new weapon they've unveiled has some dark fine print when it comes to GTA 6, and you're not gonna like what's written there. Sony has presented us with a console that, without diving into boring technical details, promises to revolutionize the way we play. The main goal of the PS5 Pro is to eliminate the need to choose between Fidelity Mode, which prioritizes graphics, or Performance Mode, which focuses on higher FPS. Instead, Sony aims to combine both modes, delivering the best graphical quality alongside an acceptable frame rate. To achieve this, the PS5 Pro will rely on 3 fundamental pillars: a significant power increase. The PS5 Pro promises approximately 45% more raw power compared to the standard PS5. This includes hardware upgrades capable of handling more complex and detailed environments, an advanced ray tracing system. Sony claims this technology will be 2 to 3 times faster than what current consoles offer, resulting in more precise reflections, realistic shadows, and highly immersive lighting. AI-powered upscaling. This system will analyze images pixel by pixel and enhance them using artificial intelligence. It will deliver a higher level of detail in distant objects, such as previously unreadable signs or textures far from the camera. However, to fully appreciate this technology, you'll need a high-resolution TV. If you have a standard screen, these additional details might go unnoticed. These 3 points are the weapons Sony plans to wield to cap off this console generation with a bang. But what if I told you that even with these improvements, it might still not be enough to play GTA 6 comfortably? This claim stems from an interview conducted by IGN with experts at Digital Foundry, who were blunt when asked if GTA 6 could hit 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. Their answer was a resounding no. PS5 Pro uses the same CPU as the standard PS5, and it would be extremely difficult to reach 60 FPS if the base version of the PS5 can't achieve it. Grand Theft Auto games have always run complex simulations that are highly demanding on the CPU. That's why every GTA released on consoles initially operated at 30 FPS. The issue isn't the GPU, it's the CPU. These comments from the experts make it clear that while the PS5 Pro may deliver a noticeable graphical leap, its weak point remains the processor. And that's precisely what GTA 6 needs most to break through the 30 FPS barrier that has limited previous titles. Of course, no one can say for certain if this will truly be the case, but if anyone was planning to purchase the new console as soon as it launched just to be ready for GTA 6, this is a good reason to wait for more official information. The PS5 Pro's price tag is set at $700 without a disc drive, which makes calling it expensive feel like an understatement. And probably, aside from the frame rate, the other differences in how the game performs on a PS5 Pro versus a Series X or a standard PS5 won't be significant enough to justify spending over $300 more for the new model. That's why many people are freaking out, imagining themselves spending such a ridiculous amount of money just to enjoy GTA 6. But rest assured, there are far cheaper options available to experience the game. The most cost-effective option is likely the same one that has been the best so far, PlayStation 5 or Series X. Despite being consoles that will be over 5 years old by the time GTA 6 hits the market, they'll still be perfectly capable of running the game. You'll get the same processor as the PS5 Pro, which means the same limitation to 30 FPS, but you'll miss out on some new features like AI upscaling or the enhanced RTX. Even so, this option would allow you to play GTA 6 for around $450 to $500, the current price of these consoles when bought new. Alternatively, you could snag one secondhand for around $350 or less, assuming you don't mind the console looking like it just returned from a war zone. And honestly, if people pay for battle-worn designs, why not embrace it when it's authentic? Who knows, you might start a trend, or maybe you could get an STD. Finally, we come to the cheapest way to play GTA 6. For anyone who's lost all hope after seeing today's outrageous market prices, Series S is here to save the day. Sure, it might look like a white-painted PS4 or a 1X in the shape of a toaster with a built-in radio. Your brother-in-law, your smart cousin, your engineer friend, or your girlfriend's gay best friend might all tell you that this console won't cut it. They might say a lot of things, but there's only one thing that matters to you as a desperate gamer. This console belongs to the current generation, and legally the same way GTA 6 is coming to that 700 console, it's also coming to this little gem. A console many doubt can handle GTA 6, and being honest, it will likely struggle, especially once the game starts receiving massive DLCs. Still, I'm confident it will perform like a champ. Why? Because it can already run the most recent games at a stable 30 frames per second, and some even at 60 frames per second, all at the resolution of the common folk, the good old 1080p. This remains a solid standard. Now let's be clear, you won't be playing GTA 6 on this console at 4K resolution or enjoying RTX features. You'll likely see fewer cars on the map, fewer pedestrians, less detail in the distance, and maybe not the best textures, but there's one thing no one can take away from you: the ability to play GTA 6 at the lowest market price. This console can be found for around $280 to $300 new, or even as low as $150 secondhand, still infused with the essence of its previous owner in every nook and cranny. $150 is the minimum investment required to play GTA 6 in the simplest way possible, compared to the $700 you'd need to experience the best version of the game. This scenario is not so different from what we see on PC. Ultimately, how good or bad the game looks will depend on how much money you've invested, but regardless of the platform, everyone gets the same core game. Of course, let's not forget to factor in the cost of the game itself, which adds to these prices. Before you make a decision though, there's something you should keep in mind. As I mentioned earlier, GTA 6 will probably not be a one-time purchase. If you're a regular PC gamer, chances are high that within a year of its release, the game will be re-released on your platform. When that happens, you'll likely be free to sell off the console and the game you bought just for the occasion. In that case, as counterintuitive as it might seem, I can't recommend buying a Series S. The reason? The game will be digital and you'd lose the opportunity to sell a physical copy, a game that at that point could still fetch a decent amount of money. If this applies to you and you don't plan on keeping the console, the smartest move would be to go for the mid-tier options, PS5 or Series X. The goal here wouldn't necessarily be to spend as little as possible, but rather to minimize how much money you lose when reselling everything once the PC version arrives. On the other hand, if you don't have a PC and don't expect to get one, you're tight on cash, and you plan to keep the console long term, the Series S is the obvious choice. This option gives you years of enjoyment with the game and its online features until the servers eventually shut down, just like they did with the PS3. And since Series S belongs to the same console generation as the PS5 Pro, the servers will likely shut down for both at the same time. The good news is that this won't happen anytime soon. Before servers are shut down, a new console generation will likely launch a couple of years after GTA 6's release. At that point, we'll see a remastered version of the game. By then, you'll have had plenty of time to enjoy GTA 6 fully completed and get tired of playing it. If you can afford it though, the best options remain the PS5 or Series X, offering a good balance of graphics and performance at an acceptable price. Perhaps the worst choice would be the PS5 Pro, not just because of the hefty price difference for what are arguably minor upgrades, but also because within a year the game will be available on PC. At that point, you'll have spent nearly as much as a decent gaming PC on a console that will eventually become outdated, and when the game gets ported to the PS6 or the next Xbox, the PS5 Pro will likely become one of the options with the greatest depreciation in value, in case you want to sell it. I've given you the facts, now the decision is yours. The good thing is we still have a year to think this through. Let me know in the comments which of these options appeals to you the most or which one you're planning to go with. See you in the next video.